Everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone XS Max and compare it against the iPhone 15 Pro Max and see which specific phone is a better one for you. Now, I would definitely tell you the 15 Pro Max is by far the better iPhone in every single way. The XS Max is cheaper, like if you want it, go for it, but I probably would not recommend buying this phone. I would much rather recommend you buying the 15 Pro Max or an iPhone like that. So, links will be down in the description. If you want to pick up some phones I would recommend buying this year, you can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these iPhones, you can clearly see that between both these devices, there's some overlap and some differences. The XS Max, which came out in 2018, on the front has a 6.5-inch Super Retina OLED display. And it's a good panel. When it first came out, there wasn't really a lot to hate on it, and I do think Apple did a decent job. This was the first Max phone that they made, so it had a big display, one of the bigger iPhones they've ever made. You had the notch up top, which is very nice, and overall, it's like a pretty good display. I think this thing still looks very good for how old this phone is. Like, it's 5 years old, and it still holds up very, very well. It's not perfect, but like I said, I think Apple did a decent job at the time. The iPhone 15 Pro Max, on the other hand, has a bigger 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So it's actually quite insane that we're getting a bigger size panel on this, even though this one doesn't feel that much bigger. It's definitely a bigger phone. I wouldn't say bigger, like it definitely feels maybe a little bit thicker, but it's still a very good looking phone nonetheless. You're getting a ProMotion 120Hz display on this thing too, and it's an always on display, so if you want to keep that on, you have that type of capability. But you're also getting that dynamic island, which is a very nice touch. I think the dynamic island has always been very good, and it's a cool feature. It's not the biggest feature in the world, but it's nice to have, and I'm glad they're making some changes here finally. So the 15 Pro Max definitely looks far better on the front. In terms of the rest of the body, there's some slight differences here too. So between both, you're actually getting kind of an interesting type of capability. So between the XS Max and the 15 Pro Max, you're actually getting a very similar thing. It's the buttons and everything is kind of the same way. You're getting the action button here instead. No SIM card tray on the 15 Pro Max. The XS Max does have it. But I would also say that even though the 15 Pro Max is flat and it's the newer one, the XS Max's like reflective coating actually looks pretty good, and I'm honestly a bigger fan of that than just like the standard one that looks the same as the iPhone 15s. On the bottom, you're basically getting the Lightning port, which is pretty cool. But on the 15 Pro Max, you're getting the USB-C port, which is a big change this year. Having USB-C is very cool. A lot of accessories already come out with USB-C, so I'm glad Apple switched it. It's going to be a very weird transition period, transitioning all my accessories from Lightning to USB-C, but I'm very happy Apple actually ended up making these types of changes for this type of device. Now, on the backside of both of them, there's a slight difference. So obviously my XS Max has a skin on it, but my 15 Pro Max has this triple camera setup with a LiDAR sensor. iPhone XS Max had a dual camera setup. Now, standard glass back on the XS Max, so this particular phone had that standard glass back, which looked very nice. With the 15 Pro Max, you were getting that frosted glass back. So with that particular iPhone, definitely looks, in my opinion, it feels so much better and it looks so much better than the XS Maxes for sure. You're getting wireless charging on the back of both of them. You're getting this, MagSafe capability on the back of the 15 Pro Max, which is nice. IP certification on both, but I would probably argue that the 15 Pro Max's phone overall is definitely a far better phone pretty much in every single way than the XS Max. But I don't think there's much to argue there. I think everyone would kind of agree with that. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there. Now moving on to the software side of things. Now between both, the XS Max is kind of in this tricky situation where we really don't know how much longer this phone is going to last. Is this phone going to last for another X amount of years? We really don't know. In my opinion, this phone is probably almost done getting software updates, which is kind of sad because this phone was kind of a legendary phone in some ways, but that's just kind of how it goes. So if you're trying to get the latest phone, I would not recommend going for the XS Max. It's almost done getting software update. Like if we're lucky, it might get iOS 19, but we haven't really been that lucky recently. So I'd probably tell you that the XS Max might end up being done with iOS 17. Hopefully it isn't, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. The XS Max has that Apple A12 Bionic chip inside of it with 4 GB of RAM, where the 15 Pro Max has that Apple A17 Pro chip inside of it with 8 GB of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are clear in the background, so let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing. Music. Okay, we don't have. Let's go and do settings 3, 2, 1. Okay, 2 different panels. App Store 3, 2, 1. Okay, iPhone 15 Pro Max looks to be faster here. The XS Max definitely slower. Not the biggest deal in the world, but just a slight difference right there. Hopping out of these two. So I'm going to do another one. Let's get into camera 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing. Photos, 3, 2, 1. Okay, definitely will say the iPhone 15 Pro Max faster there as well. Clock, 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing. Let's go and load up some of these applications now. So we should have some similar ones. I don't even know where they are. We try Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And once again, the iPhone 15 Pro Max is definitely the far faster one here for sure. Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And here again, the XS Max is the faster one here for sure. And you can kind of see between both, there's not really like crazy big differences. Actually, the XS Max glitched up a ton as soon as I said that. Hopping out of here. So I'm going to get it to thank you, 3, 2, 1. And the 15 Pro Max is definitely the faster one here. But the XS Max was slightly slower a little bit. Hopping out of these two, let's do stack, 3, 2, 1. And hopping out of here, I would definitely say the 15 Pro Max is the faster one there for sure. But the XS Max was slightly slower. Let's get into Facebook, 3, 2, 1. And the 15 Pro Max again is the faster one here. The XS Max slightly slower. I mean, definitely taking its time. I'm not too sure why this one is so slow. It could be because of some weird network issue. I don't know. Usually it's not this slow at all. So I don't want to give it like, I don't want to harp on that too much. X321. Okay, right there too, the 15 Pro Max faster. I think we're seeing a reoccurring trend here, people. Like if we kind of just look at this over and over and over again, we're definitely going to be seeing that the iPhone 15 Pro Max is for sure the faster phone pretty much in every single way. There are some instances where the iPhone XS Max might be faster. Actually, no, there's never really going to be a time where the XS Max is faster. The 15 Pro Max is definitely the significantly faster one pretty much every single time I've kind of been going through with this. So in terms of that, that kind of covers it up from that perspective. Now, from the camera side of things, this is also like kind of I mean, there's a really big difference here. So between both, you're getting a dual camera setup on the iPhone XS Max. With the 15 Pro Max, you're getting a triple camera setup. So you're getting a wide ultra-wide telephoto lens. With the XS Max, you're getting a wide in telephoto lens here. So both cameras look great. I think they're very, very solid. But the XS Max doesn't really come close to the 15 Pro Max. I mean, it's quite obvious. So the XS Max right here, I mean, you're getting, wide and ultra wide and telephoto lens. So you're getting 10x zoom, which is kind of common now. And you're getting 1x zoom here. So between both, like I said, I mean, you're getting photo mode, video mode, slow mode, portrait mode. You're getting 4K at 60 on the back of this phone, but you're getting 1080p at 60 on the front, which really isn't even that great, to be honest. It's still good, but definitely for a fact, the 15 Pro Max's camera is 1 billion% better. I mean, this is a tremendously better camera in pretty much every single way. So with this type of lens, you're essentially getting, 0.5x zoom on the outside. Zooming in, you're getting 25x zoom. That is a very big difference here. Like 25x versus 10x. Not that you probably ever use 25x. It's still very nice to have, and that's honestly a very, very cool feature that you have within this specific device. Now you're getting video mode, which is good, cinematic mode, slow mode, like you're getting lots and lots of stuff here, which is very cool. Photo mode and video mode. This is a very, very solid camera, and I love this camera a lot. And that's why I always recommend buying something that can still last and stand the test of time. And with something like the 15 Pro Max, it is a very, very solid camera. And to be honest, the 15 Pro Max is by far the better phone here. You're getting a significantly better phone on the 15 Pro Max than you're getting on the XS Max, and that's just something that just kind of happens. With the 15 Pro Max, you're getting just you're getting just the best phone you can probably buy, especially the best iPhone. If you're okay with the size, the 15 Pro Max is a tremendous phone. I think the XS Max is good. I think it still has lots of capability, and I still think it's a good phone nonetheless. But I would definitely say the 15 Pro Max is by far the way better phone, pretty much in every single area. So that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.